Hello and welcome to Tennis World Tour. It's one of the free PlayStation Plus games for August. This series will focus on our career within the game as we aim to be tennis #1 whilst also attempting to platinum the game. So we started by creating a character, and before you say it, I know the shirt is awful, but I couldn't find a way to change it, so we're kind of stuck with it for the time being. We set our age to 18 as I thought it gives us plenty of time to improve. We did get a chance to change equipment, but everything's locked at this point. And to make the career as realistic as possible, we went for the Grand Slam settings. Now this may be a mistake, and we will only find out later on if it is, but we thought we'd try and make it as realistic as possible. The other thing we noticed was you could disable skill cards. Now, skill cards are a bit of a moot point with this game. They do help you increase your character, make yourself better quicker. We decided to get rid of them to increase the realism. And we start our first season in January 2020 as a fresh-faced young tennis player with no clue how to play. Quick look at the calendar before we enter our first tournament. So our career begins with the Orca Open and our first match against Kento Maeda. Kento is a lot better than us on paper, but can we cause an upset? How likely is it going to be? Straight off the bat, as we haven't got a clue of any of the controls, we actually have a look at them because this is our first chance of doing anything in the game. And although there was a tutorial for the main menu screen, there was nothing I could see straight away as you start career in how to play. Obviously I know the rules of tennis, which does help, but after a quick look at controls, we are ready for our first match. And we're going to start by serving first. And it kind of goes as expected. First to fault. And then a double fault to start us off. The career is started extremely well so far. Dirty love. We are very quickly behind and sinking fast. Kento now has breakpoint. And at this point we do actually manage a rally, which I was really surprised by. Before, as expected, I hit the ball too hard and it goes out. Now we get to receive serve. How hard can this be? Much more difficult than it looks, surprisingly. But before we know it, Kento makes a mistake. It gives us an error and gives us our first points of our career. 15-all. And once again, Kento makes a mistake. Only earning points because of mistakes Kento is making. I'm not going to say no to the points, they're free. But it doesn't feel like we're earning them ourselves. A lovely shot there by Kento to make it 40-30. And there we have it. Kento takes the game. We scored 30 points, but only thanks to Kento's mistakes, his errors. And we can't even say we forced him into errors because we didn't. So we're going to rejoin the match in the second set, having lost the first set 3-love. And we're now down 2 games to love as Kento is serving for the match. The biggest problem I found straight away was trying to position my player in a way that we can actually return the ball. And although it seems simple, just move towards the ball, you don't always know where he's going to hit it. You kind of have to second guess it. And I, for some reason, just couldn't make that decision quick enough. We are gaining a few points a game. Kento makes another mistake there. Hits it too long on the baseline. And that's an ace. I just didn't return it. It's just another ace. And we are sinking fast. Another mistake by Kento takes it back to 30-all. If you honestly think we've got a chance of coming back and winning this, you're not watching the same game I am. Mistake by us gifts Kento the points there. 40-30, Kento is now serving for the match. Pressure's taking its toll. Fault for first serve. Out by Kento. We have got it back to deuce. I wasn't expecting this in the slightest. I thought when he took that lead, that was us done. Poor position by us, and that's an advantage Kento made it. But a mistake by Kento Maeda puts it back at deuce again. We're still in this. I don't know how, but we still are. We now have advantage. We actually have a chance to win our first set. Fault by Kento. There is a small possibility here we could gain that first set. No, our return was too long. Past the baseline. Back to deuce.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
And he actually fires the ball at us at our feet. Advantage Kento Maeda. Serving for match point again. Out, back to deuce. We are still in this. Just, but we're still in it.
Deuce.
Lovely shot for Kento Maeda there. Advantage. Kento. And there we have it. Match point Kento Maeda and a straight sets loss for us on our debut. There were times I felt like we kind of knew what we was doing, but I think you can tell we didn't have a clue. Whereas the controls seem simple, I think it takes a lot of finesse to time your shots, aim the ball, and we definitely need to learn how to serve better. Our fastest serve only being 126. Not brilliant. But we do manage to gain 10 ranking points and 150 coins. It turns out we actually lose to the final winner of the Orca Open, as Kento Maeda actually goes on to win. So losing to the eventual winner must be a plus point. Second week of January now. And we're going to attempt the training to see if we can improve, as I think we need a lot of training. We've also not high enough ranking to get invited to the next tournament anyway, although we can do an exhibition match. But I went into the training and I kind of hoped it would show us more how to play. As if you go straight into the career without looking at anything else in the main menu, there is nothing. And who knew hitting a ball into a box on a court was so difficult? We do manage to get some of the targets, admittedly, but I'm still making up as I go along here. I've got no clue what I'm doing. I'm hitting some good shots, the timing is getting better, but I still don't have a clue what I'm doing. So my big suggestion to anyone that is fancying trying this out, at least look in the main menu for the tutorial. There is a training section, tennis school as they call it. I think it's definitely worth looking at before you kind of jump in head first into the career. Something I wish I'd done, to be honest, but it's a bit late now. Two strokes remaining. We need two more targets to pass. And there is one. Can we get the last one on our last shot? No, is the answer for that. Surprise, surprise, we actually end up failing the training. We must do better with that big F there. And that is it. Our first month as a tennis player is done. What have we learned? We need a lot of improvement. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.